Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Bitcoin holders, get ready. History is repeating once again. I'm sensing a lot of fear once again. There is zero reason for fear right now. There's a lot of bargains to be had, but in case you guys don't remember, we have seen this time and time again. Just over the last few months, we have seen this plenty of times. So I'm going to show you exactly what's going on and why history is repeating and why that is a very, very, very good thing. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11 a.m., 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. All right. It's a packed house tonight, jam-packed. So thanks for showing up, guys. Let me change my screen. All right, here we go. So of course this morning we had a little excitement from good old Elon. He has basically opened up Bitcoin payments for Tesla, so you can buy Teslas using Bitcoin. And you know what? It's almost as if he's basically buying Bitcoins with Tesla cars. That's what it seems like. Because every Bitcoin that he collects, he's going to be hoarding and he's going to be holding it. And that's part of his grand plan for Tesla and for himself, which I think is brilliant. Which this morning, after he announced, Bitcoin went up pretty good, 57,000, and then now it came back down to 52.5. And again, people are panicking, blaming Elon and saying, oh, it's his fault and this and that. You know what? The same exact thing happened 2 months ago. And I'm going to show you why it's almost identical and why this is actually a really, really good thing. For people that don't even remember 2 months ago, well, let's go back. Let's go back in time. All right, I got too many lines here. But let me zoom in over here. Let me zoom over here. It was not too long ago. Bitcoin was, this is the beginning of the year, January 8th. Bitcoin peaked at 42,000. Up, down, and then boom, over here, okay? This was expiration week, just like right now, the last month of January. And you could see that this was weak when Bitcoin was down to 29,000. People, again, were fearing that the bull run is over, that it's all manipulated and nothing will ever happen and this and that, right? People were just panicking left and right. And this spike right here, this spike was caused by Elon. Elon decided to put a Bitcoin symbol in his Twitter profile. And, because of that, people were like, oh my God, So Bitcoin actually pumped up from about 32,000. Actually, let's go lower. Yeah, 32,000 all the way up to about 38,000, 39,000. That's a 7,000 point jump. That's about 30%. That's huge, huge. And then, of course, what happened? Well, it came right back down. Again, people are like, oh, it's Elon, screw him. Why did he come in? And then Bitcoin came down and hovered for 2 more days and then went on a historic rally. But do you know what day this occurred? This actually occurred on a Friday, the last Friday of expirations. And then what followed was Saturday and Sunday, which was these 2 days. And then, starting with the beginning of the month, the first, the second. So, second of the month of February, that's when Bitcoin started rallying up because expirations is over. It's not just futures expiration. CME's futures expiration is the biggest reason, but there's also a lot of options expiration and all this stuff that's going on too. But yeah, and then if you look at this, and you zoom out a little bit, during this time was a little hairy too. People were like, oh, what's going on? Why is Bitcoin not recovering? Why are we back down in the 30,000s? Why did we hit 20,000? Is the bull run over? Is it like 2017? And then you know what? no one asked the same kind of questions again until Bitcoin went from basically mid-30s to $60,000. So this is exactly what's happening. This is exactly basically a repeat, but a lot more tamer. So you look at this, you look at the percentage drop from top to bottom. Man, that's a much bigger percentage than our top to bottom now. It's not even close. This is so tame. It's really, really tame. If we had equal percent drop, we would be in like mid 40s by now. But I'm just curious, so why not? Let's just look at it. So from the top before and to the bottom before, that was a 31% drop. 31%. So if we do a 31% drop from top, where would it be? Let's do it for here. 31% drop would drop us to 42,000. And where are we? We're at 52,000. We're 10,000 higher than that. So even if we drop to 42,000 tomorrow or Friday, which I don't believe anyone is talking about, even if that happened, that would still put us in line with what happened 2 months ago. And then afterwards, Bitcoin went up, historic, basically doubled within a very short amount of time. Now, what's also very, very similar, and I already drew this out before, you look at from when Bitcoin first hit 42,000, came down, and then came back up before it started really, really jumping after it hit that previous high again, right? It took about 31 days. 31 days. So you look at what's happening right now. I actually showed this yesterday from our original peak. We actually broke through that, so it doesn't apply exactly, but you get a picture. But from that first peak at about 58,000 till now, right? You can see we're coming up to that 31-day mark. We're not quite there yet. And that happens to align with it's basically pretty exact, like expirations. So we have a few more days to go before Friday. And then we have 2 more days on the weekend. And then afterwards, I think history is repeating. We finally get that next leg up, which could be explosive, because last month in February, things were explosive. But again, we had some volatility, right? But, Bitcoin got past it. We formed a new high. We continued higher, right? Remember this line I drew, 51,000? Remember I had all these videos how there's a battle at 51,000 and bears and bulls, they keep fighting it out, and the bears don't want Bitcoin to go above 51,000, right? Where are we now? We're way above that, right? So, right now it's just like, there's just, at least for myself, I have zero fear. I'm sleeping very well. In fact, I just took a nap before this. So I have zero fear about what's happening with Bitcoin and where it's going to end up. It's going to be a lot higher. And I have zero fears about altcoins too. I know a lot of people are stressing about altcoins. I have zero fears, and I'll show you. Even the 4 that I talked about yesterday, 4 that's in my portfolio that I said that has really held really well, that has really hedged even against Bitcoin and helped me gain on Bitcoin in my portfolio. Well, they're rocking it today. Almost all of them are rocking it, except one that fell a little bit, but still can't complain because it has been rocking it for an entire week. So yeah, right now is definitely not time to be panicking. I think history's going to repeat, so we'll see. We got 2 more days until Friday, and then the weekend, and then next week I think we could see some really explosive movement upwards. But until then, it's just time to enjoy it. A lot of you guys don't want to buy at top. You don't want to buy when things are going up by hundreds of percent. You want to buy when things are low, right? When things are at discount. And we have more discount today. So it's actually fantastic to be able to shop right now, to shop for bargains. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. It's pretty much a repeat right now. If you look at what's happening right now versus January 2021, I should say, not 2020. January, just a few months ago, it's very, very, very similar. And also, I want to remind you guys that while this is happening during Futures Expiration Week, The whales are trying to keep prices low. And here's my theory why they want to do that, because they could have had shorts, opened up from last month, right? Or they're looking to make some new contracts for next year, and they want to form some longs, but they want Bitcoin to be as low as possible so that the longs are cheaper. So if they're trying to open some long contract, let's say at 70,000, right? It's much cheaper to do so if Bitcoin is lower at, let's say, 52,000 versus if Bitcoin's already at 60,000, right? So if you know anything about, futures or options, that's how it works. So it could be that they just want to keep Bitcoin as low as possible, and then they can open up some long contracts for cheap, or the opposite. We don't know what the agenda is. It always tends to happen with expirations week somehow. But that's the thing. But I like to remind you guys that while this is happening, the whales, the true whales, the huge whales with billions upon billions of dollars, they keep buying. They keep buying more and more and more and more behind the scenes, and they are not panicking. In fact, it's like a cold war right now where all of them are buying as much Bitcoins as possible. Every single spike that you see here, and this is just from Coinbase Pro. This does not count like guys like NYDIG and Gemini also, that has their own OTC service. There's a lot of OTC out there. This is just looking at Coinbase Pro. But all these big spikes, look at this one. When Bitcoin was still down around the 30,000 mark. Look at every single one of these spikes. They all lead to some kind of big purchase. Now, some were public, some were not. So we don't know, but recently there was one too. And we're talking about hundreds of millions of Bitcoins going on, being sold behind the scenes. This is outflow, not inflow. Just keep in mind. So yeah, while Bitcoin is, while it's flustering, I guess, right? And retail investors are panicking, the true whales behind the scenes, they're laughing it up. They're like, thank you. Thank you for cheap Bitcoins. We'll take it. We'll take it off your hands. We'll take it all. And that's what you don't want to fall for. You don't want to transfer your Bitcoins to them, right? So in the meantime, stop panicking. If you can, dollar cost average, have a good portfolio strategy, follow the 50-25-25 rule, and you're going to be all set. Before I miss these super chats, Carl's had one. When adding on a dips, do you look for a certain number percentage, or do you add on support levels? It depends. Sometimes those support levels do correlate with a percentage or some kind of Fibonacci level and stuff like that. But for me, I just look at, mass panic time. when it falls the most and then people are really panicking, that's a good indicator of when things will come up. That's usually how it is. But yeah, there's really no set right or wrong answer. 10%, 20%, 30%. Usually if it's 30%, you got to dive in. 30% is usually like a good correction like this, like 30%, right? And right now we're nowhere close to 30%, but doesn't mean that we will have one. Warrior Crypto Slow asks, what are your thoughts on hitting a third Fibonacci on a 350 day, which historically marked the top? That on a golden rule. I don't have that set up, but I'm not a big Fibonacci guy. I know a lot of people are, so I don't know where that points to, but I do know that TA works until it doesn't. And when you have things going on behind the scenes, massive buying or selling or manipulating, sometimes TA just does not work. I like to follow the fundamentals and the macro picture. And the macro picture indicates that Bitcoin just got started. Get protocol, Theta 3, I'm going to talk about that. Bet more. I don't know what bet more. If you're talking about be more or just bet more or dollar cost averaging. But, all right. So, before I get to Q&A, just want to re-talk about having a diversified portfolio. I covered 4 specific yesterday. I said it's not the end-all, be-all list. Of course, there's a lot of altcoins that are very strong right now. They hold their own. But, just looking at the 4 I mentioned yesterday, because I think they still are very strong and they help me, despite the fact they may have fallen more today. But, let's just take a look at it real quick. I mentioned about Binance Coin. It's not a very sexy coin, but Binance their ecosystem is second to none, right? So today, they fell about the same as Bitcoin. But looking at a 7-day, it's still about 2% less. So holding Binance Coin have saved you a 2% drop in your portfolio, which means you've gained on Bitcoin, which is awesome. And in the big cap, besides just XRP and Theta, they actually been doing really well. Even look at like Cardano and Polkadot, they're down 18% and so forth, right? So Binance Coin is still doing very well, still hedging against inflation, hedging against Bitcoin in this case. Theta did take a dive today, and that's because they pushed back their Theta 3.0 launch, and it was supposed to be like end of March somewhere, and then they decided to push it back to June. They wanted more time, and then I don't know why people started panicking, but I do think this is a fantastic pickup point, because I know a lot of you guys have been watching Theta go up and up and up and up and up, and it's pretty much gone up tenfold without really taking any breathers. So today took a breather because of it, which is really great. But you know what? Still up 44% within the week, right? So you've gained 55% over Bitcoin for the week, right? So Theta, I believe, should be in everyone's portfolio. It is definitely rocking it. So those two, right? And then also I mentioned VeChain. Look at VeChain, very, very strong. It's up today, even in a green, and 7-day it's up, right? I think VeChain is definitely here to stay. It's getting stronger by the day. So yeah, VeChain is also doing very well. And also the last one, and that's Harmony. And Harmony is just rocking up, even with today, up 15% and up 127% for the last 7 days. I mentioned how I got in Harmony late, but I think the all-star team is going to carry it far, and they are absolutely rocking it today. So they have been doing really well. But like I said, this is not the only list. Even PancakeSwap, the biggest AMM on Binance Smart Chain, they're rocking it today too, right? So there's a lot that are doing good, but you know what? The ones that are taking a breather, because Bitcoin is taking a breather, it's time to shop. That's how you do it. You buy low and you sell high, right? So there's a lot of bargains to be had. All right, so I'll leave it there, and then let's do some Q&A with you guys. Let's scroll to the top. I think I missed some. No, I didn't miss any. Going down. Buyed out low and boring is good, right? I don't know if it's low and boring. Is it? Redefining finance. A decentralized stablecoin for open finance. Did they rebrand? I remember hearing about BiDAO. Why do you need a decentralized stablecoin? Well, if Tron's a partner, it's time to get out. I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know why you would be interested in the stablecoin. I have heard of Ultra. They already partnered up with Theta. They're going to put Theta streaming into their platform. So yeah, that's why I do like Ultra. They have a lot of good partnerships. A lot. What's the other one? What's the other one I missed? Do you think it's possible for Theta to reach 100 plus? I can't help be so incredibly bullish. I mean, Theta is an incredible project. Can they hit 100 plus, which means they go up 10x from here and go to 100 billion? I always say all these guys, all these big caps, it really depends on how high Bitcoin goes. And that'll kind of show you like their top, I think. At least that's how I judge where their top is going to be. There's no scientific thing, but if Bitcoin goes up 10x, to 500,000 plus, I think easily Ethereum, Binance Coin, Cardano, Polkadot, and Theta can easily go up 10x. So, is it possible for Theta to reach 100? Yes. Is it possible they reach, let's say, 100 or 10x before some of these big guys? My answer is also yes. I think Theta's not done. I think once people realize this is a bargain of opportunity to buy Theta, they're going to buy it up. It's going to start climbing again. I think that they're going to flip with Litecoin pretty soon, possibly Uniswap pretty soon. And then once they start really climbing up, they're just going to be unstoppable like before. Should I panic sell everything? No, Scott, unless you can't handle the game. If you can't handle the game, then yeah, you need to get out. But no, you never want to panic sell. If anything, you want to panic buy. When you panic sell, you're guaranteed to lose money. If you say just hold, even though you lose paper gains, if it comes back, you never lose anything. But if you panic sell, you lose. It's guaranteed you lose. What do you think about MSC? MXC is like a, like a kind of like building out a Wi-Fi play. Like a Wi-Fi internet play. I like Helium better. I like Mana, Decentraland a lot. I think, they're like a virtual world. When NFTs are hot, virtual world with everything that's virtual and everything is basically NFT. I think they're good. Any price targets on VeChain? I think VeChain is going to go very high in the top 10. So where's top 10? Theta is at 11. So they could easily double from here. I think that's a real possibility that it could double really quick. Don't you think BTC should test its 21 weekly MA? It's never stayed far from this zone in history. Would be a healthy move. Yes and no. And I know Alicio also says that. A lot of TA guys say that. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin until it retouches the 21 weekly MA. The thing is, TA works, like I said, TA works until it doesn't. When you have mass buying from institutions, and when you have the Elon effect, whatever that may be causing it, TA can't predict that. It can't. And what's happening in 2020 and what's 2021 is unprecedented. TA can't predict mass stimulus packages being handed out, mass money being given out. They can't predict that retail investors FOMO, and they can't predict institutions pouring in billions, right? So yes and no. Like if you really think that history has to repeat, then yes. But you know what? It could test it later on. Once it hits $500,000 and Bitcoin stalls out, then the weekly, the 21 weekly EMA will finally hit there. It could test it someday. Doesn't mean that it has to happen to be healthy at this point. I do like Solana, and I do like Audius. I think Audius is actually a fantastic project after I learned more about them. And also Solana. Solana has a lot of promising projects moving to them. So, yeah. Vesper Finance. I think I looked at them yesterday. They sound very familiar. Very familiar. Yeah, I did look at them. A DeFi ecosystem and growth engine for your crypto assets. Yield generation, generating products focused on accessibility, optimization. Okay. They have their own pools. Okay. Yeah, it's just like a staking pool. I mean, staking pools. I don't know who's behind it, but I don't know. They seem to be doing really well right now. The only big exchange is PolionX, and that's not really big. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'm not a project for me. Avalanche. Avalanche is a promising blockchain, really focused on DeFi. They've been weaker as of late because I think there's just a lot of competition right now. So I like other plays better. Oh, Jason also asked about Avalanche. Tons of events. Show a killer price of 25. I just got done saying, I mean, I don't follow as much as the other guys. But, man, Clayton just got added at a $7 billion valuation. Someone just told me about Clayton. It's like a South Korean play, but they're already valued at $7 billion? What the hell? What what just happened? Wow. Okay. I just noticed that. But anyways, Avalanche. Um, yeah. I mean, I haven't been paying attention to all their events, but there's just a lot of chains that I find more fascinating. I think Solana has a lot going on. Of course, Cosmos. And VeChain, and even IOTA is coming up. I don't know much about them right at this point, but Crypto.com has theirs. There's a lot coming out for a lot of projects. So they could be a very, very good blockchain, but haven't really paid that much attention to them. So much. Steve, that's the right attitude. 1 month from today, what would you estimate Harmony's price to be? I don't know. It could be like tenfold from where it is now. The way it's growing, it's 1.4 billion. Maybe it'll grow to like 14 billion in 1 month from now. Because I think 1 month from now, everything will be a lot higher. A lot higher. I'm new to crypto space. I'm only holding BTC and ETH. I want to buy CHZ. Which platform should you use? Well, look it up. Look it up. As with any coin that's listed on CMC, just click into markets, and then you can see all the places it's available at. Bone Boy, appreciate that. My bad, one ledger, OL, okay, up, okay. What about it? Was that a question or just a statement? It's at 10 million market cap. It tends to get pumped and dumped. You could see many times in the past. So I'm not sure this is actually a good hold. It is on It is on KuCoin, which is good. One Ledger is a blockchain as a service that uses its own blockchain technology support. Okay, so seems like they're focused on enterprises and stuff like that. That's okay. I think for businesses, there's a lot that's involved with businesses. I know like Quantis, I haven't covered them much recently, but the one I have recently covered and I interviewed the CEO, Rick, is LTO Network. I think they really have a good chance of becoming big because they're really focused on regulations, KYC. They're doing DeFi the right way, and I think they could go far. And today they're doing pretty good too, up 13%. So if you want one that's focused on businesses, look at LTO Network. Apollo FinTech, I have no thoughts. They had a kind of a questionable history. They're trying to promote their new GSX coin. I don't know. If we're at a loss, Puzzle Board asks, if we're at a loss, do you think it's a good idea to buy more to shorten the loss or dollar cost average? Yes, that's why I always say dollar cost average, especially on the dips, not all in. Spread out your buys, dollar cost average, hodl, and wait for life-changing wealth. That's exactly it. That's exactly the game plan. E-Radix, I think I looked at this earlier today. I didn't have any much thoughts about it. RADIX. I think I looked at this earlier. Yeah, decentralized finance protocol that's running on Bitfinex. Again, I have not heard of any other project, or I remember seeing any other projects that's really like the go-to product for Bitfinex and have pumped. So I think if you're looking at a DeFi play, there's a lot that is better hold than, say, something on Bitfinex. I don't know if this was created by them or what, but yeah, Bitfinex I'm not very keen on because of all the past history of theirs. Diamond Doge, wow. Thanks for your insider channel. I think you mean my Discord and Patreon is making me rich. Thank you for that. There are a lot that I mentioned in there. Chili's at one of them. Electronum is another. Harmony is another. You know, that brings up Electronum, which I haven't talked about much. But yes, they're up a good 23%. I do actually like what they're doing. They're focusing on micro gigs, micro jobs, or basically for people that don't have a bank account, unbanked. And I talked about them recently, and they're doing very well. So I'm glad to see that. Labs Group. The team behind it seems very strong. Yeah, I've said I don't like tokenizing real estate. I think it's silly. I think it's silly. The collab you did with Ben from BitBoy was great. Can you do collabs with other YouTubers? Yeah. And I told Ben I'm willing to do more with him. I mean, he helped drive a lot of attention, a lot of new subscribers. So very appreciative of that. I want to do more with others, but I want to do them with like, the ones that aren't just like, causing mass panic or FUD or just shilling, right? So, like people mentioned Coin Bureau, I would love to do a collab with them. I would like to do a collab with Altcoin Daily, but they do not seem like they're interested at all. They're just ignoring me. So, if there's any other good YouTubers that I don't know about, I don't really follow a lot of them, but feel free to shout out to them on Twitter, and I'll join in a collaboration. But right now, besides collabs, I'm working a lot on interviews. And I've done 3 of them already with B Pro, very promising small cap, and also with Animoca Brands. I did one with LTO Network, which I have not released yet for a reason. Also, I just did one of Sunny with StormX, which a lot of you guys really support. And also I have Hut 8 and Harmony coming up. I'm trying to fill one more so I get 5, because next week is going to be my interview week. I'm going to release one after another every single day, Monday through Friday. And I hope to do more of that in the future. So kind of interesting to talk to some of these leaders. You could tell right away who really has the know-how, the business acumen, who are really good leaders. And it's really interesting to just hear it from their mouth, right? But yeah, in terms of collabs, I'm open. CTAS is a microcap working on network for freelancers generating more income, so that's kind of like Ethereum. Very, very, very low cap. Too low for it to make any moves, especially on Uniswap and stuff. They did come out recently, but I think they're gonna have a hard time competing. But just for the hell of it, let's look at it. Rethink work. We're dedicated to helping freelancers at company rethink how to do business. 0 fees for basic usage. Post a job in under a minute. Find a perfect freelancer. Yeah, it's exactly that. There's someone actually put a job listing for a CFO on a site like this. I'll go ahead and apply for that. Yeah, it seems like a little too early. What are your thoughts on Hashgraph? You know what? I've totally forgot. I had someone from Hashgraph reach out to me. I should actually have them on and do an interview with them. I totally forgot about that. But traditionally, I didn't like Hashgraph because I thought it was too corporate. But thank you. I got to reach back out. That may be my 5th interview for this week. Chain Games, I've looked at them. The decentralized betting platform for esports. I have an interview with the CEO in a couple weeks. It looks okay, but there's a lot that failed before them, so I want to hear from, I forgot his name, Andy. I think it's Andy. How they're different from all previous projects that have failed. If you had $1,000, what's your favorite low cap for high growth? If I was going to I'm just going to put it out there. If I have $1,000 that I can only put in one coin right now, outside of Bitcoin, it would probably be Harmony. Because they're still a mid cap that I think have plenty of room to grow, and they have such a fantastic team, and they have so much going for them, so I would just put into Harmony. Can you go more into Electronum? Well, the biggest thing that they're doing right now is called AnyTask. This is their new site, and they've been advertising this, and basically it's just like Upwork if you ever use that, or kind of like Fiverr. But you know what's really cool about this is all the jobs, right, that you can hire for or post, everything is done through the app with ETN tokens. So you don't actually need to have a bank account. That's their thing. That's their thing that I didn't get before. Like before they were just talking about like mobile mining and stuff, which is really a gimmick. But if you understand what they're trying to do is basically anyone anywhere, even without a bank account, can actually go on here, post a job, you know, like I'm looking to hire, and freelancers could come on here and say, hey, I'm willing to work, pay me, but everything is paid through the app with ETN, and you don't need to have a bank account. That's very different from all the other, you know, job sites or micro gig sites. So I actually really like that idea. I think that's fantastic. And they are promoting the hell out of this too with TV ads. I've seen Muse before. A lot of people stop asking about it because it stopped going up. See, it's funny when things keep going up, I get asked about it a million times. When things go down, then I stop getting asked about it because because people just want to jump in what's hot, right? But that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to jump in when things are low and cooled off, and they're a bargain. I have seen this before. There's a lot of NFT plays out there, so. Yeah, it's like a whole marketplace for NFT stuff. Very like Uniswap. So I don't know. I mean, it could be good. It could not be. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Can I get adoption? Really, what it comes down to is, can I get adoption? That's it. Yeah, I never liked Reef. There's just too many. Too many. Too many people shilling it. Okay, stop with the hearts. I'll look at it, but I'm putting you in timeout. $101 redenomination. Okay. I looked at this. I didn't understand what it was. Just some kind of blockchain, but I don't know what made them unique. Maybe because they're from China. It looks like they're a Chinese-based app. Yeah, I mean, they're a blockchain. I don't know, actually know what they do. What their fame is. I'll have to put this on the research list. Maybe they could be good. Yeah, and they're also on Binance too. They're pretty low being on a Binance. Okay, I'm gonna put this on my list to research. So could be good. Could be good. Wabi, I hope they could do something. I hope they could come back. But the CEO kind of brushed me off, so I was a little turned off by that. I actually reached out to him. I think Alex. I'm like, hey, you know, you want to have a sit down with me, talk to me, and he's like, oh, go look at this blog post. So he was very uninterested in talking to me, so didn't like that very much. What about Stake? XDAI? I used to have someone that keeps asking about XDAI. Oh, this is a different one. Or is it the same? Where's the regular website? This is it? This is the website? It's like a Wikipedia page. It's a stable payments blockchain designed for fast and inexpensive transactions. Okay. They do have a lot of DeFi projects running or integrated. Origin Trail, supply chain, BowSwap, HoneySwap. Okay. I guess not bad. This is very, very unappealing, though, to have a web page that's like that. But anyways, I guess I have to see how the leader is. I checked Student Coin. I think it's a little bit too hyped up. And I hate the name. It has nothing to do with what they're doing. What is Clay? Yeah, Clayton. I actually don't know. Someone just sent this to me recently. Said they're promising South Korean project, and they were showing me because I think it's one of my patrons that they were telling me, "Oh, take a look at this. This could be huge." But obviously, they are already because they're worth $7 billion, which is crazy. Looks like they're. I don't even know what they are. Public blockchain project, enterprise grade, service centric. Okay. They have a hybrid design. It seems like I don't know what their uniqueness is. Very fast blockchain. Samsung to launch a smartphone meant to make blockchain friendlier. Okay, they have a good partnership with Samsung. The Clayton phone, a Galaxy 10 variant, will come to blockchain. Well, that's already outdated because they already moved past that to the S20s. And this was back in 2019, so obviously that didn't do very well. Yeah. I have to do more research into it, but this is the first time I've seen it listed, and it's already at 7 billion market cap, so maybe a little bit too late to get in. Any thoughts on Cardano 360 tomorrow? I didn't look into it. I don't even know what Cardano 360 is. Price prediction next week. I think next week will be really good. I think after this week, after Saturday, Sunday, going into next week, I think we're going to see some explosiveness. Please explain the inside Ripple commercial that you play. Well, first of all, it's just a ridiculous commercial. Second of all, it shows what people are doing with their ICO money, creating ridiculous ads like that. That had nothing to do with the project itself. But that's the reason. That's the reason. Nano is a good project. It's a good project. Nano is one of the ones I used to talk about, like, hey, if you had to have a crypto that was going to be like a everyday crypto, something that's fast and feeless, and its only purpose was to be used for transactions to buy things with, Nano would be a great currency for that, or digital currency for that. But they kind of fell off the radar, and I don't know if they have done anything else after that initial spike here, right? They were way high, and they really have not come back. So digital reserve. What is this? Very low cap being pumped on Uniswap. Decentralized store of value. So it's trying to be a decentralized Bitcoin. If it's a store of value, if you're looking for store of value, look no other than Bitcoin. It's that simple. It's that simple. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin entering in bear market with ETH 2.0 coming out shortly afterwards? No, that's ridiculous. If it's true, if you really think Bitcoin is going to the bear market, you better sell your ETH 2 or ETH. There is no way there is a major cycle for Ethereum while there is a bear cycle for Bitcoin. No way in hell that's going to happen. So if you're an ETH supporter, you better wish that Bitcoin is continuing upwards. All right? That's just really silly. Really silly to think about. I hate to call you out like that, but that's really silly to think, oh, Bitcoin is going to bear market, but Ethereum is going into a bull market. No. All right, that's pretty much it. Overall, Bitcoin, you know what? It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. It's nowhere close in terms of like the volatility is nowhere close to 2 months to 2 months ago, but there are a lot of similarities. Of course, you had the Elon pump that faded really quickly. You have the last week of futures expiration, which showed some volatility. But you know what? Looking at what happened, back in January, after all that, after expirations, Bitcoin went on a huge, huge run. This time around, we could possibly see the same thing. History could be repeating. There are very, very similar. There's a lot of similarities. So we'll have to see. It's only 2 more days until the end of the week, and that's when futures expiration expires. Then we have the weekend, and the next week, if history follows, it could be very, very explosive upwards. But right now, name of the game is to stay strong. Never panic sell. Never panic sell. Dollar cost average. Take advantage of the bargains when there is bargains to be had, and then just HODL. HODL for life-changing wealth. It's that easy, stress-free. You don't have to worry about checking prices or your charts or whatever every single second. Trust me, it's a lot easier. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and stay tuned for my video tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time.